What is Karakalaka everyone, this is Renazi coming back at you with Honkai Star Rail, and today we will be talking about imaginary characters. Here's the best design. Last video, low-key I kinda was just going for best instead of best design, but it's the quantum, at least for the DPS side, there wasn't much of a question as to who had the best kit. It was Casteries. Archer needs more. He has more reliance on other characters. Anyway, it's a different video. If we're going by design, like character design, like looks, Archer is probably gonna be my win here though for Quantum. Anyway, talking about imaginary today. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we will get right into it so you can keep on the channel. Alrighty, so first on the itinerary is Aventurine. My goat. Much as I like this dude, I think he's a great character, all that business. He has a really cool design too as well. I like the whole gambling aspect, right? We're talking about the character in the meta though. He's not as good as he once was, especially because Dan Hong and the new Dan Hong is free as well. That kind of is not leaving Aventurine as well off in this meta, but if you have him, you're probably doing quite well for yourself. We'll probably be picking him up with the 4.0 selector though. I'm thinking so. Hit-wise, he's still strong. He's still strong. It's just Dan Hong is the new one. Usually in gacha games, I'm sure this is probably the case for Star Rail unanimously, or most of the time. The new character of the same path is gonna be better than the old one if they're in the same role. Generally, just how it works. I believe that's the case for Dan Hong and Aventurine, but Aventurine himself, I love his design, I think he's a cool character. I just don't think he's as good in the meta as he was last year, but it makes sense. Last year he was new, and he was up to power. You know, he was the meta, rather. Next we have Dan Hong and Baiba Lune, and while he does have a cool kit, he's not good right now. He needs buffs pretty badly. Cool design though. I like his dragon design. I prefer his Permancer Terre look, to be honest, but this is a good look for him. But if we had to talk about meta, and I kinda am trying to include meta somewhat in these videos, he can't win best DPS, I'm sorry. He needs buffs, he's not good enough. He has a better design than Maide though, in terms of like kit wise, because Maide I think is who we'll be talking about next. Okay, he's not, but we'll just talk about Maide next anyway. Because he's also Destruction. He's in the same role, and Maide is the newest imaginary character. That's a DPS, so he kind of just wins best DPS by default. But in terms of best design, I mean, he's kind of... I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he's pretty much just... I'm not going to say ripped off, but he was heavily inspired from Fate's Gilgamesh, especially with the CCC route, where he has... he looks a lot like this, a lot like Maide. Is my point, and that kind of hurts his character design because he just feels like it's trying to be Star Rail's version of Gilgamesh. They did a good enough job. He's a good character and all that, but in terms of his character design, they kind of take a little bit too much inspiration from Gilgamesh, and that kind of hurts him. But he does win the best DPS though, because he's the only imaginary DPS in version 3. So kind of, you know, leaves everyone else in a bad spot. But he's cool. He's cool though. And then if we're talking about sustain, alphabetically next is Luocha. Luocha's a cool guy. I just never really cared for him that much. I was considering picking him up with the Golden Companion Spirit, but then we got our other sustains, and we have 3 sustains now. We have our Gallagher, we have our Dan Hong, and we have our Hyacine, wherever she is. We don't really need to pick up Luocha anymore. Once I get maybe like... See, this really depends though, because Topaz would need to be E2 and all that other business. Point as Golden Companion Spirit, I wouldn't be picking Luocha for quite a long time because he just isn't needed for us anymore. That kind of hurts him. Even if I didn't have Hyacine, like Luocha isn't exactly the best character right now. He's probably the worst 5-star here that's like limited at least. I think he is. Because Bailu's not limited 5 stars. She's a 50/50 lost character. So like, where does that leave Luocha then if he's the worst? He's not bad, but he's not the best. Next we have Hunt March 7th. Really good free-to-play unit actually. She's been good for quite a while. I think she's still pretty usable though as well, so that's a good point for her. I do think we're not going to count her for best DPS though, because she has a cool design like kit wise, and I like her actual design when she's in Hunt. I think she looks a lot cuter than when she's in her preservation form. I think Hunt, she looks a lot cuter. But like I said, I'm trying not to include free-to-play characters here. I'm trying to include characters you have to pull for, and that March 7th Hunt is 100% free-to-play. But she has, I guess we have to mention her because she can go into a good chunk of roles, honestly. She has a good amount of uniqueness to her, which I do like. She can break toughness, and I want to say it's like without, honestly, increases the toughness reduction instance of the damage by 100%. I believe she has a way in one of her, I believe it's her enhanced basic attack, and it just 100% just toughness reduces regardless of whether their toughness weak to March or not, which I think is really cool. You'll find this very commonly for me. I like characters that can just toughness reduce without any consideration as to whether or not this is the best situation to run them in. So like the Rolf, I like her a lot because you can make your main DPS do that. Anaxa, by existing, just pretty much does toughness reduction. Like all those types of characters you'll find me liking, and March 7th is doing something similar. And she can probably work as your main DPS as well if you put her enough into her. I think she can. It could be, it's something with break effect here, so you could probably run her as a super break character as well. But I think it's kind of the thing where I think she's like the not even the master of all per se, but she has a good amount of uses. So I think that is good for her design, but I don't know if I'm gonna put her in the best slot here because of that. She's free. That's the problem. She's cool though, and we love her for it. Rappa's next. She's probably is she the worst break DPS now? Probably, right? She was the best break DPS before Firefly had Dahlia, but guess what? Firefly has Dahlia, and Dahlia has specifically a Firefly buff in her kit. It's not specifically saying Firefly, but it's worded in such a way that it only benefits Firefly. And guess what? That's not good for Rappa's case for being the best break DPS because it doesn't have that. She has a very interesting character design. I don't really like it. I was never a fan of this. I like the flaming scarf. That's about it though. She doesn't feel like a Star Rail character to me. Maybe I'm a little too harsh on her. Y'all let me know. I was never a big fan of her design character wise. Her kit though, her kit's cool. I like her kit. I just don't like her design. Like this feels like they're doing a little bit too much to me. I know she's supposed to be something of a graffiti artist, but this doesn't really fit the whole ninja aspect to me either. I'm not seeing cyber ninja with this. This doesn't speak cyber ninja to me at all. Maybe the graffiti artist part, yeah, but not the ninja part, because she's also kind of just wearing a hat instead of like a mask and all that. So that's me critiquing her character design, but her kit's cool. I like her kit. I don't know if we'll pull for her ever though. Maybe on the ult. I don't know. I gotta build the ult still, but Rappa is an interesting kit. I believe she's AoE, right? Instead of single target? Not single target, instead of blast. Or bait. Yeah, okay, so she is AoE then. What about her ult? Oh. Okay, so that is one thing she has over Firefly. Firefly is a blast character and Rappa is AoE, so Rappa generally will be better in 5 target fights than Firefly will. Generally speaking. I don't know if that's the case anymore with Dahlia being here, but I believe that used to be the case with Rappa when they were on more equal terms. I don't know why I talked about Rappa for so long. That was not planned. Now, if we're talking about the best support, shocker, it's gonna be Sunday. Not really much of a comparison. Are you taking freaking Harmony Trailblazer, or are you taking Sunday? Well, I guess actually it really depends, but most characters in this game are gonna take Sunday instead of taking Harmony Trailblazer. Unless you're running Super Break, in which case maybe you will be taking Harmony Trailblazer. But most of the time you'll be using Sunday. And it's also the case where it's like, are you gonna pick Sunday or are you gonna pick Yukong? Where is she? Or are you gonna pick Yukong? You're gonna pick Sunday, let's be honest. So as if it was any surprise, Sunday's gonna win support. I don't even need to say anything else with that. It's also cool that he can push summons up by 100% with the action events on that. Maybe he seems like he's actually ended up being a fairly healthy decision for this game. Yes, he's really strong, but now with the remembrance teams, he's not as like, oh my goodness, this guy's obscenely busted as he used to be. He's still really freaking good though. I don't think he's lost any viability, rather. I think it's just the fact that he doesn't really mesh well with a lot of the top characters in this game right now. But for characters like, you know, Saber, Finon, Anaxa, a lot of those characters he's going to be really great with, and I think that means something. Leafy works really well with My Day as well. And we have... I kind of skipped over Welt here, but we're not going to say that he's amazing right now, right? We're not. Supposedly he's going to get an Nova Flare at some point soon. Y'all didn't hear that from me, though. We'll see what that does. I hope he gets buffed to a really good point, though. I enjoy Welt. He's cool. Obviously we don't own him, but I mean, I don't really care to have the character if he's not good right now. That might sound a little meta-slavey, like, to me. Or that might sound a little meta-slavey to y'all, but the way I've been... the way I've heard Welt is doing in the meta right now, or just maybe not the meta, the end game rather. He ain't doing good, so I don't really feel the need to have him, especially because, like, if we take a look at our character roster, right? I gotta build my archer to completion still. He's still not done just yet. I mean, I could do this, but I'm saving these for Spark C in them right now, so we'll just be holding these for the moment. But I need my archer to be a little set up still, like, he's almost done, but point is, we have him, we have Fugue to work on still, mainly just relics. But we have Fugue, we have May to work on. Kirby's not perfect yet, Sparkle's not perfect, Sunday's not perfect, Gallagher needs better relics. I could build Loader Herda or Tinging, but I'm not doing that yet. Could build Finon. I need to build Kafka because I want to build Dot pretty soon. Nampo could be here as well. If we get Nova Flare, Seala, you get the point, right? There's a lot of characters here I could be building instead. So, Welt not being there in that position where he's amazing doesn't really matter to me too much, because also there's characters here like I need to get an Axa, better relics, Herda, better relics, Firefly has good enough relics, but she's an Evercone, blah blah blah. A lot of other characters that could just serve us better. So until that point with Mr. Welt, we're gonna be ignoring him. If they want to drop an alt with him though, I'm pretty down to pull for that, okay? Don't think that I'm not down for that, because I am. I'm gonna guess these 4 relic sets are supposed to be 4 Pano. I don't know why I just saw that right now. That must be what it is. See, this is what I'm talking about. I randomly look at stuff. I'm like, oh, ooh. Yeah, shocker. This is probably gonna be for Sparksy, isn't it? Oh yeah, it is 100% a Sparksy thing. I called that shit, by the way. I thought this was gonna be Sparksy thing. Shocker, it's gonna be. Anywho, off topic again. Haha. I'm the goat of going off topic for no foreseeable reason. But for best design, I mean, Mayday hit-wise wins, but then in terms of uniqueness, I have to give it to Don Hong. So y'all can pick whichever one you prefer, but if I consider the end game in this, and that was kind of somewhat of the point of this series. I'm gonna have to put Maeda in the DPS slot, whether or not I agree with his design being great per se, because like I said, if you guys are familiar with Fate and you've played Fate Extra CCC, it's pretty obvious that they were trying to take inspiration from that. Like, it's not, I'm not saying they're copying him, but the inspiration is very, very much there, and it is not close, because that is another thing. Star Rail, one of the reasons I had a hold up about it in the first place is because they had characters in this design wise that were like, okay, now you're just trying to like reference Fate and like not so subtle, and it was kind of annoying me, to be honest, because I was a way bigger Fate purist, if you want to call me that. I had problems with Clara because she just felt like an Ilya copy to me, and she didn't really have that much uniqueness to her at the time. Maybe I'm more okay with it now because it's now that the Fate collab is in the game. Them and Nasu were cool with each other. I'm like, okay, if they're cool with these characters taking this much inspiration from them without, you know, like, this isn't copyright or nothing, but it's like, if you're a Fate fan, it's really freaking obvious who Clara is supposed to be, right? And that really bothered me at the time. But now that obviously Nasu, who is the creator of Fate, and Takeuchi, who is the main artist for Fate, at least initially back in the day, now they're cool. So now I'm okay with it. But before I wasn't. Anyway, I'm gonna give it to Maeda. If you guys want to give it to Don Hong, if ever to Lune, go ahead. Support, it's gotta be Sunday. Gotta be Sunday. Easily. I do like the whole bird thing going on as well with him. It's not as upfront as it is with Robin though, because you know, Robin in her skill, she just straight up grows wings out of her back, which is cool, but they still have the brother and sister thing going on with the feathers and the halos as well, which is cool. And they're also both Harmony characters, which I think is kind of cool. I'm kind of excited for the future for our Saber team when we get Robin, because I'm excited. I don't know. I like the idea of running the siblings on the same team with Saber. It just feels like it's going to be a really fun thing to do, especially because Robin gets that 100% action advance. I like that. I like that a lot. Anywho, that will be our video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please do not forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back with some more Star Rail very, very soon. Arcadia should be very soon, if not already out by the time this is out. So we'll see when this comes out. But I'm probably gonna be doing Star Rail for the next few weeks at very least. See though. I'll see you all in the next video. Laters.